2-for-1 special. We are back. It's been a day, hasn't it? Has it been a day since I did a video? No, I think I did one Monday. I didn't do one yesterday. I don't know. Promise I'm going to do the defensive tier video. Just was working on other stuff and got excited about this. Wanted to show what it was. I've been working on some Daniel builds. I put out the Daniel orange, Greek, black kind of thing. Really good. And you can switch around a couple cards, like I said. That's the beauty of Daniel. When I design cards, I like to design them in a way that you can build multiple versions. Green, silver, you can build multiple versions. Daniel, you can build them with all the Daniel defenses with Ancient of Days, or you can just build best overall defenses, what works well with it. Do you want to use just Michael, Daniel, Meshach and bring in other aspects? That's how I like to design, to where you kind of have freedom outside of a theme, or mix and match themes. So as much as I like thematic decks, I don't like that you would just have to, hey, I have to play this or else it's no good. So I've been looking at Daniel kind of rushing to Ancient of Days and really getting into a board state. I think that's really good. I think that's good against hundreds with like Nazi and different things. So just was exploring that and bringing in some old combos. So this one takes the Darius Decree, Redemption, Emptying the Tombs that someone else found, and uses that with the Impartial Judgment play and puts it all in Michael. Daniel the Apocalypse, really helping to negate anything that can stop their protection. Plus, I do have Kingdom of the Divine in here. That helps with my Old Testament heroes for accusers, but it also helps to negate like Salty. I probably should just play Blind, like instead of Prosperity or Distressed. That should be Blind, now that I think about it. Having two ways to negate New Testament Lost Souls and negating Salty is good. So, yeah, probably Distressed comes out, but then Distressed negates if they have trusted politicians. So I'm just trying to make sure that I have ways to ensure their protection's gone. Daniel does negate evil characters, so never mind. He would negate trusted politicians. He doesn't negate evil characters in battle. He just negates evil characters. That's the same cup I drank from on Monday. That's kind of gross. I think it is. I don't wash it. It's steel, right? It's good forever. It's not. So, this has Ahasuerus Rex, Papa Aha with Confusion turn 1. Has a Malachite Slave and Satraps to go to Papa Aha with Confusion. This has got, it did have the other Daniel, and so I was doing Daniel with Servants by the King. Maxwell and I were actually just talking about that, to where Jay talked about you bounce Daniel, and it's kind of like pseudo CBN kind of, CBI protection. That's very, very strong. You have to then negate Servants of the King to put Daniel back in, and then you can negate Daniel. It's just very hard to deal with. But Servants of the King still good. And my wife texted me about Pokemon Go. And so, yeah, Servants by the King still good. And it does help with my bounce, because I'll explain the reserve, and that helps me kind of turn back on like a negate character that I want. And then Darius' Decree, Redemption, Emptying the Tombs. Emptying the Tombs is just good in Daniel anyway. It keeps your heroes. Like we've seen Emptying the Tombs played without any sort of combos. I've seen a lot of people play with ways to get their heroes back in Daniel, and I guess that's because they're playing Apocalyptus. But you have Daniel's Guardian. Sometimes you have Love Righteousness, and you have Michael the Guardian. How are you losing your heroes? Like, how are you getting them back from discard pile? Like, they shouldn't be in the discard pile. They could be, like, captured or something, but they shouldn't be discarded. But either way, I'm discarding my own guys. So I have Redemption and Emptying the Tombs in here. I didn't want to just rely on one, and that helps me with the consistency to get it. I still wanted to do Ancient of Days because that gets me to my Darius' Decree. In between Redemption and Emptying the Tombs, I should be able to get to what I need. I am contemplating taking out 3 Woes for Crowd's Choice. I kind of want to do that just in case as another way to get what I need. So, yeah, it's a Persian defense without all the tricks. It doesn't have, Horseman and Reap the Whirlwind and Scattered. It doesn't have all that. It should get you to a Haemon's Plot and a Confusion, and then Cyrus with a couple of negate cards and an add to battle. Like, I should be able to block a few times, but I can't block for a long time. I'm just here for a short time. I'm not here for a long time. And then the offense is supposed to be pretty explosive, very good. Daniel offense does a lot. Not overly reliant on my Old Testament heroes. So what I'm really trying to do is get to this Darius' Decree with one of the following 2 cards, Redemption or Emptying the Tombs. I do have to have Rhydon as well. That makes it tough. But, it is a 3-card combo. But it's very easy to get with this deck. And when you get it, opponent can't do anything. Now, if 100-card decks have a bunch of defense down, then you can paralyze them for a turn and hit their whole hand, and then they have to do something with what they have down on the table. They have to recover. So you should be able to still push through with a big Daniel band that's negating everything and protecting and all that. Theoretically gets through. But yeah, it's not... It goes for the big boom boom play early. Turn 2, turn 3, goes for it, and tries to just end it quickly. That Confusion helps you as well. So what all is this doing? I'm using Darius' Decree. I'm discarding all characters from my reserve. That only keeps Impartial Judgment in there. I am resurrecting them all via Emptying the Tombs, ideally. That way I can paralyze who they have in territory because I don't want them to negate Impartial Judgment. Or I could use Redemption and I can convert or kill, whoever they have down as well. So what I do is I then resurrect everyone. I play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all as Meek. Don't even worry, just play them all as Meek. And then I do a big Daniel band, and Michael bands to Cherubim, who bands to an OT Priest. And that bands to Jehoiada, and Jehoiada can protect my Jotham, which is good. And then he bands to a king, or an OT red hero, Jotham being both. And then Jotham converts, grabs Impartial, and you throw Rhydon down, and Rhydon's hitting for, Impartial's hitting for 6. And you play it pre-block, and either Redemption, but early on, Redemption not clears the board, but it's good, or Emptying the Tombs makes sure to where they're all paralyzed. Or really what you do is depending on how many they have, you can just bounce them. And if you bounce them, an Impartial for 6 depends, could be big. Now you don't want to, if they have 3 evil characters down, you got to check their characters, because if they can keep a character in a negate, you're bouncing it back and your 6 isn't enough to wipe their hand, then that's an issue. So you just got to know, do you want to paralyze or bounce? And the last thing you want is Impartial to get negated. So you just got to understand, okay, if they have 1 evil character down, then I can bounce it and go in for 6. That should clear. And do they have 8 cards in their hand at the end of the turn? Or do they have 5 or 6 or something? And if they have less cards, then you could always bounce their evil and wipe them out. So just knowing what that card does, making sure you play it correctly. Redemption can also make sure that your Impartial for sure goes through, convert, discard whoever you need to in their territory, or it's actually convert or banish. And it's an and/or, like I always talk about, Judean mediums, banish Prince, convert Judean. That's always good. You get the resurrect, you get the draw 3 on this, and then you get to hit their territory. hit them for an impartial. Not a lot else here to say. I tried to make sure I had a high AOD count because I had to bring in confusion. I did want Heyman. I had Mask in here, but I thought, you know what? I want a way to bounce specifically Jesse and Obed afterwards. So I swapped Mask for Return the Captives. You may bounce any number of heroes if used by a king, which I could choose to do that. I could release and bounce all captured characters. So if I'm going up against Babylonians, that's a really good tech to have. If I'm going up to someone with Raiders camp that we're not seeing, but we should if you're in Babylonians for the most part, then I can bounce and release. I can release and bounce captured characters. So that also helps. If for some reason I don't want to release and bounce captured characters, like if a Melechite slave is over there and that's the only lost soul, or there's like 2 or 3 lost souls, I haven't done Son of God, just situational play. I don't want to release my Melechite slave, then I don't need to play that on a king. I can just play it on someone else. I can bounce all my heroes if I want, which really I just want to bounce Jesse Obed. I can slap them back down as territory class, and now I'm negating characters and neutral cards for them. So that's good. So yeah, just making sure the deck can all work together. I think that's it. I like 4 in the Fire. What I talked about 4 in the Fire, like going to Eternal Believers. He grabs Ancient of Days. You play Ancient of Days. You have 4 in the Fire in your hand. Now you can ban to who you got. Makes for a really good attack. It's really good with the other Daniel if you're choosing the blocker. Or it's just good. You just have a Daniel. Now you have a big protected band, I like 4 in the Fire. I needed something. I needed AOD cards, Daniel cards. I want interrupts and battle winners. An interrupt, everyone's protected. Band of 3 is a battle winner. We play untouchable. Like this is, I don't understand why this isn't seen play in Daniel decks. Everything else pretty standard. So yeah, it's just Daniel with a big impartial. So what we can do, I'll just run through it real quick, kind of see, hey, does this thing work? So there's one piece of the puzzle. Now we need Ancient of Days to Darius' Decree, and we need Ride On. And we're at a really good spot. So turn 1, if I wanted to, I could put down Gabriel, and I can just go into a protected band with Gabriel, Meshach. I think Gabriel discarding their best evil enhancement and going to Meshach, protecting their deck, getting a draw 2 with Faith Unbowed in my hand is plenty. That's how I would play it. So I would get the draw 2, take out their Confusion, their Pride of Lions, their Plot, whatever it may be, their Futile Inquisition, take out that stuff. I love having Gabriel turn 1. Depending on the deck, sometimes I Daniel's Prayer to Gabriel instead of Michael, just to get that turn 1 discard. That's so important. If they don't have their deck protected and you hit them with 2 Gabriels, even 100 carders are going to feel that. If you look at the lists of 100 carders, they have like 6 to 8 evil enhancements. Gabriel takes out 2 of their best and you're protected with the Daniel band, or you're negating things, you're in a good spot. So yeah, Meshach for 2, protecting deck, everything, that's just good. Salty really ruins my attack. So maybe if Salty's down, I do want to play that Faith Unbowed. I don't know. After that, there's nothing I need to put down. I do have 2 cards down, so I have to be mindful. Is Aha Surus a block or not? So I'm always so fascinated and impressed with this app. Cyrus turn 1, really good. Everything's getting, all that stuff, interrupts getting tossed. Cyrus under Cross is phenomenal, complacent. Also, Cyrus with Idol and Nebi is good. It's not as good, but has like Cross, Coliseum, complacent. You want to shut off the CBN, like toss the CBN, toss the interrupt. If you're tossing CBN, like if you're playing Cross and Coliseum with Cyrus and you can get complacent down real quick, GOC offenses can't really touch this guy. Like he's good. But for simulation purposes, if I had if I have board advantage, I'm going to pop a ha ha, and I'm taking an OT Brown enhancement from deck. Probably just snagging a negate, which I think I already have one in my hand. Yeah, I already have one in my hand. So probably just getting destruction from Persia, and then playing confusion, and then that's vanished. Having that confusion that early, it messes with the opponent too. Like, you just popped their Son of God, and they're like, dang, now I have to get 5 because Second Coming can't get confusion or can't get Son of God from the discard pile. Like, they have to get 5 instead of 3. Like, that's a lot. I wonder the data on turn 1 this guy with that card and how much they win, because you got to get to a natty 5 is tough. And being able to back it up afterwards, like having a double negate in my hand, is good. I don't know which one I would play here, because on one case, yeah, I negate and reserve a good card, cool, but being able to take 2 cards from their reserve is so nice. On the other hand, waiting to play this after something is so good, because if I can negate what you just played, especially with like Cyrus, this on Cyrus as a negate is so good. And then with Wicked, of course, it's even better, but reserving all heroes in a territory is really good if I can get on the negate. But reserving all heroes in battle, good too. So I probably wait for this one, play that as a negate. Turn 1, giving them initiative and then having a negate, that's a pretty good block. And if you can get a block under a confusion, ugh. Okay, so there we go. Turn 2, got the combo. I don't have Right On, so I don't have the combo. I'm lying. But I'm ready for it. So we do have a little bit of protection. We could put all them down. Abednego's in there just because the protection. Like, I don't use his ability, the reserve ability, of course. But being able to go here is nice. I still don't know if I play that pre-block. It really just depends on what they have, like what they're playing. But being able to go Meshach for a draw 3, and now we have everything. The deck's fast between getting that big band quickly. Ancient of Days gets you the band, meaning Meshach and Servants of the King. You're drawing 5. You're getting what you need real quick. Ancient of Days getting it 2, and Given from God usually being a +2. It's a lot. We put down Kingdom. We have 8 in hand. And we pass turn, and we feel pretty good. Like, if they have a dominant and they blow up guard at the den, yeah, they could. But I do have an OT Prophet in play, and if you let me have initiative, then I have CBN that's regardless of protection, which is really good. Or I can negate and reserve whatever's in battle, and then take 2 cards from your reserve. If I really need to, I can bounce all your guys. But yeah, more than likely, I'm just playing the plot for CBN, ROP. And I'm not going to say the game's over here, because they could be negating neutrals, but they would have to negate neutrals with the curse. Because if not, I would have Haemon's plot whoever I need to. Like, I would have reserved their hero, and I'm making sure my neutrals work. From here, I go ahead and turn that face up. We're just going to snag everything, drop it in there, go back to my discard. So all I did, I just moved everything from my reserve into my discard, but impartial wasn't supposed to be in there. Just a quick way to go back and forth. Now, depending on... Oh, I don't have redemption in my hand. So then I just, boom, emptying the tombs. I resurrect for 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. When we resurrect, we're deciding on how we play them. Is red the best brigade in Redemption? That's the that'll be the title. Clickbait. And the only thing I screwed up here is I don't have Michael to do the huge Daniel band because I can only play one TCE. But I don't care because I just did a paralysis of anyone that they have in territory or a bounce, whatever I needed. So I don't need this big Michael band. I can just go Cherubim, Jehoiada. He protects Jotham, and he converts. He grabs this. He plays right on. And I have impartial for 6, 7. So whether or not I had to bounce or paralyze depends on how much they have down. This early in the game, turn 3, they probably all get bounced. I want to talk about something super quick. You get more turns at Nationals than you do in Lackey Grand Prix. I don't know what it is. But I think it's just, I love that we can play online. I think that there's overall less tournaments people are going to per year and playing against new people and new decks. And because of that, they're more prone to misplay in person and when cards are on the table. I know in Lackey where everything is. And it's kind of hard, unless you're Jay, it's hard to be disorganized in Lackey. Like, I can move around your cards, and especially in this app. Like, I can see where everything is, and it's right in front of me here. It's not in front of me here at an angle. Like, it's not down. I'm looking down with reflections, and cards can be stacked. Jeremy Chambers should have beat me last year at Nationals. My board, my mat, was full, and I had Gates of Hell right, like, here. Usually when I put stuff down, I announce it. I never try to play deceitful, ever. So I had it down, and it's on my mat, but it's like this. I'm out of room. So it was out, but there's so much stuff, cameras and stuff over here. It's a lot. And Jeremy could have negated, and then we went back and looked, and I was like, well, what about this? And did this matter? Was this negated? And yeah, he should have won. I was able to add the battle off Gates, and he didn't see it. And he even said, he was like, I didn't know that was there. And I was like, and I think it'd been there for 2 turns. You can go back and listen. And that stinks. Like, that's why I won that, because Jeremy didn't see a Gates. And then I gave him $20. No, I'm just kidding. But that's one of those things that's in person that's like, you don't take into account. So be mindful when we're seeing Concealed Riches and we're talking about, I got to win in 3. Your games are going to go to 5, 6, 7 turns at Nationals. I remember Josh P. saying that last year. He was like, I forget I get more rounds playing in person. So don't forget that. So you don't need to just rush everything. How much can I do in turn 1? And what do I have to do on turn 2? I have to get X amount of cards. I have to get a board lock. You want to strive for all that stuff, but don't think you have to get them consistently turn 2, because you're just not. So make sure you can get out from under things. So for this is consistently working for me, but that doesn't mean it will in person all the time. So make sure you play test it, goldfish, and then make the deck, and then goldfish it in person. And that should all be prep before going into a big tournament. So you should make your deck online. Then you could, see your collection. Are you missing anything? Do you need to do any trades? Do you need to buy anything? And then, all right, you got all your stuff. Build it. I would proxy stuff if I didn't have it. I used to always do that. Proxy, build it, and then physically play it. Okay, once I know everything I need, then I buy, trade, whatever, acquire what you're missing, and then play it in person, get whooped, and make edits. I always throw decks out there. I'll throw this one on Discord as well. But, people will snag my deck and play them. That's what it's for. So just make sure you know, one, it's my play style and what I'm confident in and comfortable in. I've talked about that before. But make sure when you play it, if something isn't working, like, make a couple edits. I've had some people be like, yeah, this isn't working. Like, boom, on to the next one. Just make minor edits that work for you. So, but back to this thing. I would have just impartialed their hand for 7. I would have bounced their characters. And even in a 3-hero band, you can't block. Either all your evil characters that you have down are paralyzed, or I bounced them all and they're all discarded. So the only thing is, like, not having Daniel, Michael to negate protection. You just got to be mindful of when to play that. So maybe turn 3 wasn't right. Maybe I needed to wait till I do get Michael and Daniel. So, and that's fine. I still feel like because of confusion, that I am able to get a block in. So ideally, they attack me, and I do something like guard at the den and return the captives and bounce all my guys on a CBN block, ROP. What I like to do is I like to fish out a glory or a angel. I was talking to Jay yesterday, and we were going on about, I don't want boasting, we were going on about like a Daniel offense, and I was like, well, you could block that with this, and he was like, well, no, you should never play enhancements against me. Like, I'm just gonna angel you or glory you. And I'm like, man, that's a crazy take. Like, you just can't do an add to battle. Like, if you can play a dominant battle, more than likely I can play a dominant in battle. Like, probably don't have an Ark of the Covenant active. So if I can add to battle off a lot of different ways, all I got to do, depending on how big your band is, like, yeah, if it's glory, can I bring in someone that withdraws heroes, like a trusted politicians? And now I win that. Can I bring in a protected guy? And now it's just a stalemate. Can I bring in someone that negates parts of your band and beat you by numbers? And if I beat you by numbers, you don't get top decked. So I think people also have to remember, if you can kind of manipulate their band a little bit for Daniel and you beat them by numbers, they don't get top decked. That's pretty good. Or if it's like, hey, Angel Lord, and then I add to battle and I'm like mine-ish, you're dead. You're dead, boy. So Heyman's really good right now in the meta. So yeah, if I can pull a Angel or Glory out, that's good, because I would want to take an Evil Daniel card from deck, and then I want to add my Evil Daniel human. Probably grab this one just to have protection, like a ROP. Add this guy in, and hopefully I would get the bounce. Just would bounce. Probably bounce David too. Just because. But yeah, having a, regardless of protection, CBN bounce, pretty good on an add to battle. Last but not least, it's like we got everything here. We want to get Michael. So, but upkeep, boop. We also want Lost Souls. We have to keep attacking in this offense. Now we negate characters and neutrals. And we go get, do we want Michael or do we want Daniel? For this, we want Michael, because we're going to get Daniel. So servants to Michael, usually actually that's the right way because we want that CBN first. But what I like to do is manipulate the band to where I go servants, Abednego, don't do Gabriel yet, do Meshach, or if you want, you can go eternal believers. He can get you Daniel, and then Gabriel can band to him. We have 8. How many cards left in the deck? Where are we? Oh, 22. I looked at the wrong number. So yeah, I'm sorry. That's what we would want to do. And then go to a good Daniel card. Get out Daniel. And I still messed that up, honestly. So here, we're gonna learn some stuff. We're gonna go Abednego to eternal believers. Get out Daniel. Now Daniel can band. He'd be in territory. And then Daniel can band to Meshach, and I could still get that draw 3. There. We got there. That is the importance of knowing your deck. How do you manipulate your bands? And what do you need to do? So, I'd be following up with an impartial judgment play with this. Like that's pretty good. I don't really know what else I was gonna say because I was like I could go to cherubim, but it's like I don't need to go to that. If they had to choose the hero, like that would stink. That's why I try to have mostly all white. That's why I went with white heroes. But if they had to choose the hero, then they could bring in my Jotham. They can't bring anyone else in unless they negate because I could just band. But if they brought in my Jotham, I would lose that battle. And the last thing you want is losing a battle after an IJ play. That one hurts. So yeah, that would be it. I put down trusted politicians. At this point, we're probably playing Son of God. We're playing Son of God. We should be at 4. And we don't care how many heroes we put down because we still have redemption. So we can be a little aggressive on putting down heroes. Depending on how they attack, we have some blocks. Not much, but we have some stuff. And then really we're just trying to get to Second Coming. We got a late and Ancient of Days. We can still play it. Top card. Just for what it's worth. So now we know where it's at. For what it's worth, Ancient of Days works through Nazareth. I think I said that last video. I don't know. I think that's worth noting. And top card, reveal, 3. So we have 8 cards in our deck, and we just put 4 to the bottom. So if we draw 4 cards, we get Second Coming. So that means we have to get our hand down to where we can draw 4 cards, and we're good. So we can put these down, that down, and we could just attack here, and then we would draw 5, and it would max out our hand. So then we just go in with this big band, and then just boom, and we'd be good. So that's that's Daniel Purr's. That's the name of the deck. Uses the Darius Decree combo. I like that Darius Decree negates characters except Persians. So if I need to, I can flip that up in a pinch. And my defense still works. Yeah, it negates a lot of mine, but it just, situational. I like to be able to use my cards for a certain, depending on the plays. Having a big impartial play with a very fast Daniel deck is really good. I don't love the defense. I almost think that you don't play Brown. You don't care about Darius's Decree matching your defense because you're just going to activate it anyway. And you play a. I think Brown Persians are very strong, but I think you just play another defense. Remember, you don't get a lot of cards in your reserve. Well, you get 10, but you don't get any on defense. So looking at a defense that doesn't necessarily use its reserve and is still good. And we do want Ancient of Days because we want to be able to have that big swing to get out Darius's Decree. Being Brown also means I want Haman, Confusion, Haman's Plot. So all that, that takes away from the Ancient of Days count. So I think Babylonians are the right call here, and not Persians. But yeah, I just wanted to show the deck anyway. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. Quicker video, just hey, here's a cool deck. Don't forget about these combos. Remember, you get more rounds at Nats. Make sure you have ways to get out from under things. And then just, hey, this is good. Also, Daniel does not really care about its reserve. Doesn't really use it, so maybe we can kind of use it in a different way. And what is Daniel good at? Getting Ancient of Days, which gets Darius's Decree. That's pretty good stuff. So, hope y'all enjoyed, and I plan on doing the defensive tier video, I don't know, maybe Friday. Maybe I just do 3 videos this week and go absolutely nuts. Maybe that pushes Hendrix to do the podcast. I don't know. So, y'all enjoyed. Talk to y'all soon.